Hey everyone, I'm Coach Kyle. Today I just wanted to talk briefly about chronic pain and why it's so chronic, why it's so persistent, why it's so hard to treat, why it's so hard to get rid of. Okay. And to really explain this, we got to really look at why this is happening in the first place. And then it's kind of easy to understand why it's so persistent. All right. So we got to remember that any kind of pain for any reason serves as an alarm, a warning, a message. It's trying to get our attention, trying to tell us that there's a problem. There's some kind of danger that we need to deal with in some way. All right. So, chronic pain typically is where the brain is kind of stuck on this idea that there's danger. Basically, your brain does not feel safe. It feels like you're in danger all the time. So, it's always sending this message, this alarm, this warning. Okay. So I think it's helpful to kind of put ourselves in the perspective of this part of our brain. Its sole purpose, its job is to keep us alive, not to keep us happy. Okay. That's totally different. To keep us alive. And sometimes I imagine this like there's a control panel, there's a little person in our brain sitting at this control panel. He's got some screens, some information comes by all the time. And this little person is looking for signs of danger, some problem. When it sees that problem, it hits the alarm button. It warns us. There's many ways our brain can do this. Pain is just one option. It could give us intense feelings of anxiety. It could give us sweaty palms, increase our heart rate, flushing in the face, abdominal pain, stomach discomfort, intestinal discomfort. All these are different ways in which our brain can warn us about danger. Chronic pain is just where the brain chooses pain for whatever reason and it sticks with that option. And oftentimes, people with chronic pain can have these other symptoms as well. Like anxiety comes with chronic pain a lot of times. Intestinal or stomach discomfort or pain comes with chronic pain a lot of times. And it's not uncommon that our brain's using multiple types, multiple kinds of these alarms to get our attention. All right. So we're in the position of this little person in our brain behind the control panel, and you are convinced, you are seeing clear signs everywhere you look that there's danger and we need to sound the alarm. Okay. So, yeah, if you're in that position, you're going to be hitting that pain button or anxiety button, whatever button you feel like is best to push, you're going to be keep pushing that until the danger, as far as your perspective is concerned, has passed. This is why traditional treatments don't work for chronic pain because they're not addressing the root of the problem. They're not making the brain feel like you're safe. Many times, our experiences in the healthcare system actually make us feel more unsafe, unfortunately. Um, and over time, as we continue to go about our lives in pain, our brain is still freaking out. It's still convinced we're in danger. So it's like, okay, this isn't working. We gotta scream louder. We gotta turn up the volume on this alarm, or we gotta create new, different, unique alarms. This is why over time chronic pain tends to get worse. The pain gets more severe. Um, our brain adds new sources or perceived areas of pain over time, new symptoms. This is kind of the natural progression of chronic pain if it's not addressed. Um, and that makes total sense when you think about why it's happening. There's another element to this when so anytime our brain does something, it's happening through neural circuits or pathways. So our neurons in our brain are constantly rearranging themselves into patterns, pathways, circuits. And when a particular circuit gets used more often, it gets stronger over time. It gets stronger with each use, meaning it takes kind of less to initiate that process. So, like any skill we learn, when we get to a point where we're really good at it, that we don't have to even consciously think about doing it anymore. That's that strengthening of those neural circuits as far as how we're perceiving it. So like walking is a good example. I don't think about how to walk anymore because those neural circuits are so strong. I just intend to do it and it happens. This is why after like a traumatic brain injury and someone has to relearn how to walk, it's hard again until you get good at it because the brain has to create new neural circuits because those old ones have been interrupted or damaged somehow. So when our brain gets in this mode of thinking we're in danger, it's sounding the alarm of pain or whatever other symptom. And it does that over time, long enough, those neural circuits get stronger. And now that little person behind the control panel has to see less indication of danger to sound the alarm. And you can almost imagine that person behind the control panel, they get to a point eventually where they forgot their original purpose. They forgot what their original job was, to look for danger. Now they think their job is to show up and hit the alarm button because they've been doing it for so long. Now it's just habit. So this is why chronic pain becomes chronic. This is why it sticks around, why it's so hard to get rid of once you're in that pattern. And because of these strengthened neural circuits, maybe even the danger that our brain was initially worried about isn't even there anymore. So it can be hard to kind of pick out and differentiate what's causing this, what's making our brain feel unsafe. That might be really hard to figure out because it's not there any longer. So the real way out of chronic pain, the pain recovery process is about teaching your brain that you're safe, making your brain feel safe, so that we can start creating new neural circuits around safety, and weakening those existing ones around creation of pain, being convinced we're in danger. So that's all for today. If anyone out there suffering from chronic pain is interested in kind of taking this approach, working with a coach to become free of pain, check out my website, schedule a free discovery session. No commitment, just an hour of your time. We'll have a conversation about much more kind of what I talked about here, as well as what the process looks like, what it entails, what it requires of you, and you can make an informed decision of whether it's the right fit for you. So we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.